I just want to look at some of my notes here.
Hey, PBnZ Sports Chaos. We're back at you, fans. Coming at you this week. I got a little Wormtown Rocket Brew going on. Wormtown from Worcester, Mass. The Wormtown Brewery's fueling tonight's show. And as usual, I got my boy Tommy still wearing his old Pat shirt, sitting here with me. PB, social distancing as well. Still sitting not 6 feet away. He's 1,600 miles away as we do the PBnZ Sports Chaos Show. All right, let's get right into this thing, PB. I got some stuff I want to run by you real quick before we do our AFC West schedule preview. A couple of firsts happened in history this week. First of all, May 15th was Friday, 1973. I don't know if it was Friday then, but in 1973, Nolan Ryan threw his first no-no. By the way, did you know he's the record holder? How many no-nos does he have in his career, PB?
I'm going to say at least 5, but maybe 7.
7 is correct.
All right.
By the way, another historical day in 1941. You and I both missed that by about a couple of decades. But Mr. Coffee, Joe DiMaggio, first game of his legendary and still record, correct? 56-game hitting streak.
That is correct.
By the way, he also was one of the first sports stars to marry a sensational beauty queen, Marilyn Monroe, and a movie star as well. I believe that trumps Tommy Brady's wife, Giselle, any day of the week. Anyway, speaking of Tommy Brady, next week, Tommy, you got a big golf match, right, BB?
Yeah, he's teaming up with Phil Mickelson, right?
Him and Phil are pairing off against Peyton and Tiger Woods. Who do you like in that matchup?
I really like to see Mickelson and Brady win that, obviously, just as a Homer Brady fan. Anytime Brady can beat Manning in anything, it's a good thing, right?
That's a good point.
I'm going to be pulling for Brady.
All right. Hey, by the way, 40 years ago yesterday, a rookie named Magic Johnson started at center in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, scored 42 points, replacing Kareem Abdul, and he won his first of 5 NBA championships. Way to go. Hey, by the way, you're a hockey fan. You'll appreciate this. This day in history, in 1983, PB, the New York Islanders completed what?
They must have won the 4 years in a row winning the Stanley Cup.
4 years in a row winning the Stanley Cup. No other teams won more than 2 since then in a row. So good for them. Hey, and speaking of championship teams, by the way, tonight is the last of the 2 episodes of the final or the last dance with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. You watch any of this series at all, PB?
I've seen some clips and stuff, but I have not actually.
I have watched it. I'm behind by 1 episode right now. I watched on the DVR. It has been epic. It's been unbelievable. And Major League Baseball, they say they came out with a plan. They say they're going to start the season July 4th, 82 games. We'll see what happens. But I got to talk about this one guy down there in your new home state, Tampa Bay pitcher Blake Snell. You hear this rubbish he had to say?
Yeah, he doesn't want to play half the salary, right? Playing half the games, but doesn't want to play for half the salary.
Yo, bro, as he would say on that epic little Instagram rant. Yo, bro, you are nowhere near in danger compared to the EMTs, the hospital workers, the doctors, even your local grocery store clerk. Give me a break, dude. I hate people like that. All right, let's get right into this thing. AFC West. We got some stuff for you Broncos fans. We know we got some Broncos fans watching the show. And, of course, we got our homer, Casey Jost, loves his KC team. I don't know. I don't think they repeat, but we'll talk about it. PB, talk to us. Give us the outlook.
Right. Yeah, pretty excited. Last week we brought you the NFC East. This week we got the AFC West. And I'm going to go again in order how I think they'll finish. And I'm going to start with the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning that division, finishing 11-5. Vegas has them under-over at 11.5, so I have them just slightly underperforming their under-over. Opening up with a home win against the Houston Texans. I believe that's the Thursday night game to start the season, right?
Correct, yep.
What's interesting is last year they did lose at home to Houston, the Chiefs. So that'll be a revenge match for them. I think they come out of the gate winning that one. Then they have to go to the Chargers. I think they'll win at the Chargers, start off 2-0. Then they go to the Ravens. I think they'll lose at Baltimore. Then they come back home for 2 straight against the New England Patriots and Las Vegas Raiders. And I think they take both those games to go 4-1. Then they have a tough 2-game skid here. I had them going up to Buffalo and losing. And then I have them going to Denver and losing.
Whoa!
Yeah, I think I have them as that's their only divisional loss this year. But that puts them at now 4-3. People will be starting to question the Chiefs there, but then I have them going right out and finishing 11-5. So pretty much running the table with the exception of 2 games. Winning at home against the Jets, Carolina, winning at Las Vegas, losing at home to Tampa. I'm sorry, losing in Tampa. They have to go to Tampa Bay on the road. Tom Brady and company will defeat the Chiefs in that one. Then they come back home against Denver, win that, go to Miami, win that. Then they got to go a tough game here, third last game of the year, on the road against New Orleans. I have them losing that one as well. And then coming home for the final 2, winning against Atlanta and beating the Chargers at home too. So I got them finishing 11-5, 5-1 in the division, good enough to be vying for that number 1 seed overall.
Nice. Hey, I'm with you. I got them 11-5 as well. Ravens, Bills, Saints, and the Bucs. I agree with you on that. I think the divisional losses, they don't sweep the Chargers. If they sweep the Chargers, I think they sweep the Broncos. If they don't sweep the Chargers, they go 11-5. If they do, they go 12-4. But they got a couple of losses that they took, right? They lost one of their cornerbacks. Kendall Fuller went to the Redskins. They did resign the other kid, Braylon. I forget his first name. Brashad Braylon, I believe it is. And the big resigning, they kept Chris Jones, the D tackle, who I thought was really the MVP of the Super Bowl. So good for him. And they also signed the former number 1 draft pick of the Cowboys from a couple of years back, Taco Charlton. So we'll see. I still think they missed the boat with Clyde Edwards-Helaire as their first-round pick when they could have had Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, or even my boy A.J. Dillon from BC. I think he's going to be a better player than
Or
Clark.
Akers even.
Yeah, Cam Akers, you're right. Willie Gay, supposedly he's going to be an asset for a suspect defense. We'll see about that. I don't know, man. They're going to have a tough time, I think. And by the way, they really don't have a backup tight end if Kelsey goes down. There is no other tight end on that roster that really can make a difference.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
All right, what do you got number 2?
But I think given that division, I think they're locked, though, for that to win that.
Oh,
Here's my surprise of maybe the AFC. Vying potentially for a wild card is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos closed out last season winning 4 out of 5 games. And that one loss in those 5 games was at Kansas City. So, I mean, they really did a nice job there towards the end of the season. And even against Kansas City, they only allowed 23 points. Denver's defense is no joke. And their offense with, getting Drew Lock out there now and playing him regularly, I think they have some potential this year. So I got them finishing 9-7, vying for that playoff spot in the wild card. Vegas has their under over at 7.5. So I have them outperforming their under over by a game and a half. Here's how they do it. They open up at home against Tennessee and win. They go to Pittsburgh and win. They play at home against Tampa and win. We all know Brady does not play well in Denver.
Oh, good point. Good point.
And then they go at the Jets and win. So I got them starting the season 4-0. Then they have a little bit of a tough road there because obviously if I have them at 9-7, that means they're going 5-7 the rest of the way. Then they go up to New England. They lose that game. They play at home against Miami. Miami comes in and beats them.
Whoa!
That game. Then they go – then they come back. No, then they're home again against Kansas City. I have them winning that one because that was the loss I said before, so I have them winning that. Then I have them losing at Atlanta. I have them losing at the Vegas Raiders. Then coming home and winning 2 straight. And here's a big one. Winning against the Chargers and then beating New Orleans Saints in Denver.
In Denver,
beating New Orleans Saints. Then they go on the road against the Chiefs. They lose that one. Come back. They go on the road against Carolina, win that one. Come back home and lose to Buffalo. Go to the Chargers and lose that. And then come home against the Vegas Raiders for the final game of the year, and they win that. So I have them kind of stalling out and faltering at the end, but getting off to a hot start, finishing 9-7.
9-7, man. I see 7-9 at best. 6-10 probably, but 7-9 at best. They did make a couple of good signings, though. Melvin Gordon will be a huge asset in the backfield there. He'll definitely be a help. The cornerback, they got A.J. Bowie. He's going to be an asset for them. They also got a pretty decent defensive end, Jarrell Casey, to line up opposite Von Miller. So that's going to be huge for those guys. And then they went out and they got some toys in the draft for Mr. Locke. They got Jerry Jeudy. Not sure that was the best move they could have got. That is the best move, actually, now that I think say that, considering they got him at number 15. And then they went in the second round and took the kid from Penn State, KJ Hamler. So I think they got some toys for Drew Lock. I think their offense is going to be pretty darn good. I'm a little bit concerned about the defense. They have a good defensive line, but I say 6-10, 7-9. You got them at 9-7. We'll see, man. We'll see. All right, who do you got after that?
Then I have the Chargers at 7-9. I was a little bit high on the Chargers, but I've started to kind of falter a little bit. Vegas has their under-over at 7.5. Believe it or not, Vegas has the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders under-overs all at 7.5, which is kind of interesting if you think about it.
Right.
So I got Denver outperforming that by 1.5 games. I have the Chargers underperforming that by just a half game, coming in at 7-9. Okay. They do that as a road win to start the season at Cincinnati. Then they come home. They lose to Kansas City. They're still at home against Carolina. They win that. Then they go on the road against Tampa and drop that game. And then they go on the road against New Orleans and they drop that game. That's a tough 2-game stretch right there at Tampa and at New Orleans.
Right, I agree.
So now they're 2-3. They come home against the Jets and win that, get back to 500. Go on the road against Miami and lose that. Then they come back home and get a quick, easy 2-game winning streak against Jacksonville and Las Vegas. But then they go on the road and lose 2 at Denver and at Buffalo. They come back home against New England and they lose to New England at home. Then they win at home against Atlanta. They go to Vegas and drop that one. Come back home and win against Denver. And then finish on the road at Kansas City with a loss. That takes you to 7-9.
Wow. All right. I got them either 8-8 or 9-7. And the 4 games, you hit it right on the head. The early games against the Saints and the Bucks, those were away games. And those 2 home games against the Pats and Falcons late in the season are going to be – those are the games that are going to kind of turn the schedule for them, I think, depending on how they do in those games. They did make a couple of good moves, though. I mean, they kept Hunter Henry, the tight end, which is probably the best move they could have done of all. Also signed Chris Harris, cornerback from the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. Tight end Antonio Gates did retire, but it doesn't matter because Hunter Henry, I think, is a stud. The Hall of Famer, Phillip Rivers, is gone. And so quarterback, is it going to be Justin Hebert, or is it going to be Tyrod Taylor, right? We'll see. I think Taylor's the guy to start the season. We'll see if Hebert comes in there around the 7th game. And, of course, they got the stud linebacker that you and I kind of wanted to see the Pats get, Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. So we'll see. I don't know. All right, what do you got for Vegas fans?
Yeah, poor Vegas fans. I mean, sooner or later they may turn the corner here, but Vegas has them at 7.5, which is probably one of their best win totals predicted by Vegas in a long time for that team. I know they made some decent moves. They probably went a little heavy on receivers in the draft, right? I have them finishing the season 4-12, so well underperforming the Vegas prediction of 7.5. And I have them starting off the season 0-6. They play at Carolina. That's a loss. New Orleans at home, a loss. At New England, a loss. Buffalo at home, a loss. At Kansas City, a loss. And then Tampa Bay at home, a loss. That's a tough first 6 games. I mean, that could be the hottest 6 games of any team probably in the first 6 weeks. Then I have them winning at Cleveland. That'll be an interesting game. A lot of Cleveland will win that, but I think they can go up to Cleveland and win. Then they have to go to the Chargers. They lose that. They come back home against Denver and beat the Broncos at home. Then they have to play Kansas City at home and lose that. Okay. On the road at Atlanta, that. On the road at the Jets. That's their 3rd win. Then they come home against Indy. There's a big L right there. Home against the Chargers. I think they can win that. Then they have to play at home against Miami. I have them losing that. And then they finish the season at Denver with another loss. So I only got them winning 4 games out of those 16, finishing 4-12.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I see 4-12 at best for those guys, and I know experts say 8-8 or 9-7 based on that schedule. You're right on. Those first 6 games are going to kill them. I mean, if they can win one of them, maybe then they get to 5-11. But I don't see anything. By the way, a couple signings on that team. Marcus Mariota, he could be starting by the end of the year for them. Gruden is a big Mariota fan, so we'll see. He might be the answer, or at least could be a career backup for them. They took Corey Littleton, a linebacker from the Rams, and you mentioned it a couple weeks back, Malik Collins, a D tackle from the Cowboys. And they took from the Eagles. Eagles fans, I know you're sorry to see him go. Nelson Aguilar, right? Wide receiver. And by the way, Jason Witten is now playing for the Vegas team, right? We'll see what happens there. I don't know. Hey, but they did get a Prince. They signed cornerback Prince. I can never say his name. Amy Kamara, I think. I can never pronounce that. We'll see. Poor Gruden. And the other thing is, taking Henry Ruggs before Judy or CeeDee Lamb. That's going to come back and haunt them, don't you think?
I think so. They didn't get the best receiver they could have.
So does only the Chiefs make the playoffs in this division?
I think Denver, with their 9-7 record, could be vying for a playoff spot. They're going to be right up there, probably against teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots. Buffalo might even be in that area. Houston might be right in that area. Denver will be in that. Those 5 or 6 teams are going to be right there, I think, vying for that spot.
And the biggest surprise, Casey Josh is going to hate us. KC only goes 11-5, the defending Super Bowl champs, the one-time Super Bowl champs, because they are not repeating. We put that out there right now. They are not repeating. You're hearing it live from Z right now.
But 11-5 is still going to potentially vie for the number 1 seed and could potentially get you a first-round bye.
It should, yeah. Is this the first year of only one team getting a bye? This is it, right? Or is that next year?
You mean for the play? No, they're still 1 and 2 get a bye.
We haven't gone to the additional wild card team yet?
No, I don't think so. Not for this season.
Okay. All right. Hey, fans, PBnZ Sports Chaos. We're social distancing. Our Denver Broncos fans, like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Casey Josh, we can't wait to see your comments this week. We know you think they're going to go 14-2 or 15-1, but it ain't happening. PB, any last parting shots?
No, next week we'll come at you. We'll switch back over to the NFC, and let's hit up Tom Brady and company and do the NFC South.
Woo! NFC South next week. Love it. All right. Be safe, brother. Take care.
All right. You too.